The iPhone 17e is shaping up to be Apple's most modern-looking budget iPhone yet. Fresh leaks suggest Apple may finally bring the dynamic island to its entry-level model, replacing the wider notch seen on the iPhone 16e with a familiar 6.1-inch display, a next-gen 19 series chip, and pricing that mirrors the 16e. The iPhone 17e could be the go-to upgrade for users on older devices like the iPhone 11, if these reports hold. The 17e aims to bridge Apple's design gap between premium and budget tiers, offering a fresher look without sacrificing the value-first positioning. It's expected to keep the fundamentals that matter: battery life, dependable performance, and long software support, while modernizing the front with the dynamic island and potentially improving the main camera. Rumored highlights dynamic island design similar to the standard iPhone 17. Slimmer, more uniform bezels, likely 6.1-inch OLED display with a 60 Hz refresh rate. Non-LTPO panel, expected single rear camera. Some reports point to a 4.8 MP main sensor with improved low light performance, 1.2 MP front camera, and 3D Face ID expected. Dynamic Island integrates key system alerts, a 19 series chip with fewer GPU cores than the iPhone 17. ENHANCED neural engine for on-device AI features-based storage, likely 128 GB. Higher options may include 256 GB and 512 GB, to be confirmed. Connectivity: 5G, at least Wi-Fi 6E, BLUE, TOOTH 5.x, UWB retain. USB-C port standard eSIM only in some regions, with dual SIM options varying by market. Durability expected to remain strong. IP68 water and dust resistance likely, though not confirmed. Price around CNY 4,499, roughly Rs 57,000 tilde. 620, similar to the 16e's positioning. Launch tip for the first half of 2026, possibly May. Wide availability to follow. Position as a budget-friendly alternative within the iPhone 17 lineup, aimed at iPhone 11 era upgraders. Acing and display leaks indicate the iPhone 17e will adopt the dynamic island, finally moving away from the wide notch that defined Apple's baseline models for years. This aligns the phone with the broader iPhone 17 family and instantly makes it look more current than the 16e. Expect an aluminum frame with a glass back, a ceramic shield front, and a clean, symmetrical look that feels familiar to anyone who's used recent iPhones. The display size is expected to remain at 6.1 inches with a standard 60 Hz refresh rate, consistent with Apple's strategy to reserve higher refresh rates for pricier models. The panel will likely be a bright, color-accurate OLED with strong outdoor readability. While exact numbers haven't leaked, Apple typically targets around 1,000 nits. Typical brightness with higher peaks for HDR. Touch responsiveness should be snappy. And haptics via the Taptic engine will keep interactions crisp, because a non-ETTO panel is likely always on display is not expected. However, the dynamic island will bring glanceable status, timers, calls, navigation, and music controls to the top of the screen, features that make the phone feel more premium in daily use. Expect familiar Apple polish, smooth animations, consistent color tuning, and robust scratch resistance for the class. Cameras: the iPhone 17e is rumored to carry a single rear camera, keeping the budget-friendly identity intact. Earlier reports mention a 48-megapixel main sensor, which, if accurate, would be a meaningful step up and enable pixel bin 1.2 MP photos with improved detail, better dynamic range, and more flexible cropping. A 4.8 MP sensor would also allow a high-quality 2x optical style crop for portraits without adding a physical telephoto lens. Optical image stabilization is very likely, and Apple's software stack smart HDR photographic styles night mode. And Deep Fusion should handle most everyday scenes well. Video is typically a strong suit even on Apple's entry devices, so expect 4000 up to 60 fps. Dolby Vision HDR at select frame rates, cinematic mode, and action mode for stabilized clips when you're on the move. Macro photography and an ultra-wide camera are unlikely at this tier. On the front, leaks point to a 12MP true depth camera with Face ID. Autofocus on the selfie camera has become a staple on recent iPhones, so it would not be surprising to see it continue here. Expect clean selfies, solid skin tones, dependable portrait blur, and reliable low-light performance for video calls and social content. Performance under the hood. The iPhone 17e is tipped to use a 19 series chip with fewer GPU cores than the standard iPhone 17. That's Apple's usual playbook. Delivers strong everyday performance and excellent efficiency on the budget model, while keeping the very fastest graphics for higher tiers. The CPU should be more than capable for multitasking, social apps, streaming, and productivity, while the GPU will handle casual gaming and creative tasks comfortably. A beefier neural engine is also expected. Good news for on-device AI tasks in the next version of iOS. From smarter photo edits and voice features to enhanced privacy-preserving machine learning, the 17e should benefit from Apple's continued push into AI-assisted experiences. Thermal design typically improves generation over generation, so expect better sustained performance and fewer throttling moments during longer gaming or video sessions. Compared to older entry models, storage options are unconfirmed, but a 128GB base is likely, with 256GB and possibly 512GB tiers for those who prefer more local storage. The modem situation remains unclear, but given the 16e's custom C-Series modem, an updated or similarly efficient 5G solution is expected for reliable connectivity and power management. Battery and charging. There are no solid leaks yet on battery size or charging upgrades. For context, the iPhone 16e supports 1.8W wired charging and 7.5 West wireless charging, and it would not be surprising to see similar numbers on the 17e. Apple typically quotes up to 50% in around 30 minutes when using a 20 West or higher USB-C power adapter. And that's a reasonable expectation here as well. MagSafe support hasn't been mentioned in leaks for the 17e. If Apple sticks to the 16e's path, standard key wireless at 7.5 West may remain the baseline. If MagSafe or Key 2 does appear, expect faster wireless speeds up to 15 West, but this is purely speculative until more concrete details surface. Either way, Apple's efficiency gains on the chip side often translate to longer battery life year over year. Even without huge capacity increases. Price and launch date. The iPhone 17e is rumored to be priced around CNY $4,499, roughly Rs. 57,000 $620, keeping it close to the current iPhone 16e's positioning. That price bracket has been popular among buyers who want an iPhone experience without paying flagship prices, and Apple seems keen to keep this lane intact for the 17 series cycle. The launch window is tipped for the first half of 2026, with some reports specifically pointing to May. Expect a staggered rollout by region, with most major markets following soon after the initial announcement. The rest of the iPhone 17 lineup is expected later in the year, consistent with Apple's usual annual rhythm. Who should consider the iPhone 17e? iPhone 11 and older users who want a modern design, better cameras, and long-term software support without paying pro-price first-time iPhone buyers who value Apple's ecosystem, reliability, and resale value. Budget conscious shoppers who want the dynamic island experience and a current design language light, to moderate gamers and creators who don't need top-tier GPU performance, who might want to skip it. Users who want a 120Hz display, LTPO always on, or multiple rear cameras. Heavy mobile gamers and pro video shooters who will benefit more from higher end. iPhone 17 variants of iPhone 17e versus iPhone 16e. What to expect? Design. 17e rumored to switch to Dynamic Island. A clear visual upgrade over the 16e's wider notch. Display. Both models expected to feature a 6.1-inch panel at 60 Hz. The 17e may get brighter tuning and slightly slimmer bezels. Cameras. 17e may move to a 4.8 MP. Main camera with a 2x high-quality crop. 16e's low-light performance drew criticism. So gains here would be significant dot-front camera. 1.2 MP true depth expected on both. 17e may refine HDR and low-light handling. Chipset, 17e. Rumored to use a 19 series chip with scaled GPU cores. 16e runs on the A18.